Welcome to another 2GIG Tech Tip. My name is Zach Anderson, one of the technical trainers with Nortec Control, and today we'll be taking you through some of the solutions and available options when doing remote keypads. Now, one of the great features and benefits of the Edge panel is that it can connect to broadband network, while still also hosting its own access point. That being said, you need to inspect the environment and determine which is the best or ideal setup for using keypads. My personal favorite always has been to use the access point that the Edge panel hosts. Now, it only broadcasts that access point on 2.4 gigahertz, and which is great because that allows you the ability of range. Now, also the upside of an access point, of the Edge remote keypads access point at least, is the ability to be able to have the panel and remote keypads on their own dedicated network. So you don't have to worry about the user updating their router or changing networks or things like that. And so that's one of the upsides of having the access point. One of the other benefits is that you have a dedicated network that you have complete control over. That being said, some scenarios still require you to use the homeowner's network. If that ends up being the case, a couple things you want to look for. One, you want to look for the ability to control the different IP addresses to be able to make sure that they stay on the same network. Some of the newer routers, while they're great mesh network systems, which gives you a really robust Wi-Fi network, do alternate between 2.4 and 5 for each individual IP address. If you can, ideally you'll want to lock down those IP addresses to either the 2.4 or 5 gigahertz for the panel and remote keypads. That way it's not switching or bouncing between the two. One of the other options is using things like an external network router, things like the Alarm.com access point or other routers out there to create your own local network. Now, the access point of the Edge panel will only broadcast in 2.4, so it's important to note that when setting up the Edge panel's access point. Now, the remote keypads can connect to both, so it's important to also note that. But those are just a couple things to look at. Ideally, also, is downloading some form of a network analyzer tool. Okay, there's different ones for Android and Apple users alike, or for your desktop computer or laptop. It's important to see things like the dB or signal strength for those. The dB recommendation generally I find tends to be about negative 65 dBm for ideal signal strength for remote keypads. So that's important to note when setting up these remote keypads and main panel for the Edge system. And that's just some of our tips that we like to throw out there and make sure you guys have or are informed upon to be able to have the best experience and have the best installation. For further questions, feel free to reach out to our tech support or refer to your installation and programming guide on our dealer page, or submit a message on Facebook. We're trying our best to always respond to those, so feel free to reach out to us in one of those three ways. Thank you for choosing 2GIG, and thank you for listening to this video.